WMUZ, The Light.
The opinions expressed on 103.5 FM WMUZ are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of Crawford Broadcasting Company or its advertisers.
WMUZ Detroit in crystal clear digital HD and on the web at WMUZ.com.
Welcome to The Empty Harvest with Dan Sienkiewicz. Dan is a born-again Christian, an Amazon and Caribbean missionary, a health consultant for indigenous tribes of the southern Amazon region, a publisher, author of Health 101 for Doctors and Dummies, a certified nutritional consultant, and formulator of Green Gold nutrition products.
Hi, folks. My name is Dan Sienkiewicz, and I'm here today to teach you and to take questions about health and wellness. I have developed a formula called the Green Gold Nutrition Formula, which will help you to supplement what you don't get from the empty harvest. The empty harvest is a term used to describe the condition of our food supply. Congress in 1936, when I guess they were still working for the people, said in the U.S. Senate document 264, said that if we didn't start replacing the minerals that we were taking from our soil in 1936, that in 65 years we would have nutritional deficiencies, mineral deficiencies of epidemic proportions. Well, folks, needless to say, the industrial food complex did not heed that warning, and we did not make sure that they heeded that warning. And so I'd say we were there right now. We have mineral depleted soil. That's a serious situation. God created us from the dust of the earth. So what does that mean? When he formed us from the dust of the earth, that means he formed us from minerals. That is the ground of the earth. And he expected us to get these minerals and this nutrition from the food he created and that we eat. So we're in a serious situation. And especially as Christians, I personally believe that we need to take control of our food supply. Frankly, I believe it's been hijacked from God's plan for man. We're experiencing sicknesses unparalleled in history. The World Cancer Report says that by 2015, we're going to have 15 million new cancer victims every year worldwide. That's serious. One of the things that I experienced in my travels, especially to the Amazon region, is that there's no place on earth that has not been touched by this empty harvest and this lack of nutrition. I always tell this story. It's dramatic and it's not embellished. You might think that this is so bizarre that I'm telling a story that I concocted. But here I am. I'm in the Amazon jungle. The chief of the southern Amazon region asked me to come and analyze the nutrition in his village, because he frankly doesn't know what he has. He has 123 different species of trees on his property, but he had no idea of the nutritional value or what each one of those fruits, vegetables, plants, whatever it was that he had on his property provided. So he asked me to come and analyze and give him a report and tell him what he had. He's got gold. He's got nutritional gold. He's sitting on nutritional gold, and he doesn't know it. And frankly, that's the condition of the Amazon rainforest. They're sitting on gold, and they have no idea what it is. Anyway, with that said, we're sitting down to a jungle meal. Now, this is him and his wife and his extended family. There's about 40 people in this village, and they all pretty much get together for dinner at night, and Mom's cooking some jungle stew. Jungle stew is anything they caught in the jungle that day or shot. Generally good meat because of what the animals eat. So she was making up the stew. So we're all waiting for the stew to be finished, and here I hear the kids start screaming. They start screaming for Mamãe, queremos macarrão e queijo. Mamãe, queremos macarrão e queijo. Well, that's Portuguese for mac and cheese. Now, I'm not believing my ears. I'm in the jungle. I'm in a jungle hut waiting for a delicious jungle stew. Well, I don't know if it's delicious, but anyway, waiting for a fairly nutritious jungle stew. And the kids are yelling for mac and cheese. Well, needless to say, they knew in the hut, you know how kids are, they know everything that's in the house, right? Every bit of candy, every candy bar, whatever's there, they know. And the kids knew that she had a box of Kraft mac and cheese stuck away under the counter in her jungle kitchen. I couldn't believe it. She brings out the mac and cheese and she cooks it up, boils the water like, we're all familiar with. And the kids sat down to mac and cheese while the adults sat down to the jungle stew. It was at that point I think I recognized that it was over with. That this world and the nutrition of this world, because we all exalt these native peoples and these places like the Amazon as being havens of nutrition, and they are, but the people don't eat what's good for them anymore, not even in these nutritionally rich places. So the condition we're in worldwide, they prefer Western food. They prefer the refined foods for their babies. I observed that they were giving their babies refined cereals, but the chief said, well, they think everything from the West is better. Well, frankly, we know it's not. Soil's been depleted. We have a serious situation on our hands. And I believe as Christians and as God-loving and God-fearing people, we need to change that. We need to change that scenario for our children, for our grandchildren, and others. And that's one of the reasons I've created the Gold Green Nutrition Formula. It's a formula where you can get all the nutrition you need in one simple powder. I'll go on to explain it a little bit more as the show goes on. We have a very special show for you today, by the way. I'm going to be interviewing a gentleman, a former pastor, retired pastor, who is struggling and winning his battle against cancer. He'll be on in a few minutes. Anyway, I'm very excited about that, and he's going to be telling you what he's been doing to combat cancer in his life. So, folks, we got a great show. Hang on. I'm excited to be here, and I hope you'll get a lot of information that will truly benefit you in your life and, frankly, in your walk with the Lord.
The most effective, natural, powerful, comprehensive, bioavailable, and economical supplement in the world. Green Gold Nutrition Formula was formulated by the 30 years of traveling to the world to places like the Amazon rainforest of Brazil, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Spain, Peru, Portugal, and Italy. One man on a 30-year missions trip helping people get healthy across the world consequently developed Green Gold Nutrition Formula from his travels.
What I observed in my travels is that the food supply of the planet is nutritionally depleted. Something had to be done to give the world a comprehensive and powerful supplement to replace those nutrients.
Green Gold Nutrition Formula contains over 200 ingredients which supply every cell of the brain and body the food and fuel they need to obtain optimum performance. Our mission is to have you living the way the Lord intended you to live, 120 years healthy. Get started today by going to greengoldnutrition.com. That's greengoldnutrition.com.
Hi, folks. We're back to The Empty Harvest. Now, you might have heard in the introduction talking about living 120 healthy years. And some of you might say, what? I thought we're only supposed to average lifespan in America and even frankly, and even some other places in the world in Western civilization is 70 to 80, and maybe we're extending that a little bit artificially with artificial this and artificial that, and a few transplants and bypasses and things like that. But frankly, the average age for the Western world, I think, is around 75 or 77. So That's generally the vision of most people. Wow, if I get to 80, I'm doing good. If I get to 90, I'm doing good. If I get to 70 without disease, I'm doing really good. If I get to 70 without cancer, I'm doing great. Well, that's not necessarily God's plan for man. And how do I know that? Just because of my opinion? No. The Lord said it in Genesis 6:3. Here's what he said, quote, "And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years." Now you have to understand this. The Lord said this just before the flood. Just before, he's pretty fed up with man. He's repenting that he ever made man. Wickedness was rampant in the world. The giants were evil, and they were powerful. So he was going to send the flood. And before the flood, as we all know, as Bible-believing Christians, men lived for hundreds of years. I think Noah lived for, I forget all the numbers, 600 years. I think he was 600 years old when the flood came. And all the others lived up to 900 to 1,000 years old. Anyway, it's the whole genealogy that's traced there. So-and-so lived so many years and so many years and so many years. And then he comes to this point in Genesis 6:3 where it says, my man, okay, I'm fed up, yet his days shall be 120 years. Well, you say, well, wait a minute. Who's living 120 years? Well, frankly, folks, there are people in the world that are living that long. They live in different tribes around the world. In fact, right now I have a 1973 edition of National Geographic, the January edition, where National Geographic went out and actually investigated these people, actually did a beautiful documentary on all of these folks that live between 100 and 150 years disease-free. So they do exist. So it's been my desire to study these people and find out, well, wait a minute, what are we doing wrong? They don't have formal education. They don't have universities. They don't have big hospitals. Frankly, I don't think they have much money. They don't have much of anything. Yet these folks, and it's documented by National Geographic and others, that they live 120 years and more disease-free. I've got a picture here, a National Geographic photo of a woman. Her name is, I can't pronounce her first name, it's difficult. Mrs. Lasuria, we'll call her. She's more than 130 years old. And it's a quote from National Geographic. Says she watches from the world from the porch of her home in the Soviet Union's Abkhazia, an autonomous republic in the Georgian region. She was nudged into retirement from her job as a tea picker 2 years earlier. She's 130 years old, and she retired at 128. And she's sitting there. Well, she has a few vices. I'll say these people aren't, you might think, oh, they have no vices and they don't do bad things, which can destroy their health. Well, it says that she smokes a pack of cigarettes a day and starts the day out with a little vodka. No, so I don't think many of us do that. I don't think so. Anyway, but she does. And yet she's 130 years old and just retired. So there are people that are living that long and disease-free. In fact, of those, and one of the things that they trace in all these peoples, and one of the things that they identify, is they all still have trace minerals in their soil. These are the 74 minerals that God originally created for man to have. And when even 7 of these, and this is very interesting because the names of these 7, you've never heard of them before probably, are named after Old Testament cities. Lanthanium, I can't even pronounce some of them, Presodium, Neodymium, Samarium, Europium, Idherbium, and Thulium. When they give those trace minerals to laboratory animals, it doubles their lifespan. Well, it looks like some of these same minerals are doubling the lifespans of these peoples because we're living for 70 years, they're living to 150. So anyway, folks, these are some of the minerals that I've included also in the Green Gold Nutrition formula, which I think are absolutely essential to health.
The most effective, natural, powerful, comprehensive, bioavailable, and economical supplement in the world. Green Gold Nutrition Formula was formulated by the 30 years of traveling to the world to places like the Amazon rainforest of Brazil, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Spain, Peru, Portugal, and Italy. One man on a 30-year missions trip helping people get healthy across the world consequently developed Green Gold Nutrition Formula from his travels.
What I observed in my travels is that the food supply of the planet is nutritionally depleted. Something had to be done to give the world a comprehensive and powerful supplement to replace those nutrients.
Green Gold Nutrition Formula contains over 200 ingredients which supply every cell of the brain and body the food and fuel they need to obtain optimum performance. Our mission is to have you living the way the Lord intended you to live, 120 years healthy. Get started today by going to greengoldnutrition.com. That's greengoldnutrition.com.
Welcome back, folks. Very excited with this segment of the program. We're going to be talking to Michael Saccardo, who is a former pastor in Oklahoma and a beautiful singer, and hopefully he'll even sing for us a little bit after his interview. And he's been struggling with cancer. But he's not just been struggling with a little bit of cancer. This man is riddled with cancer throughout his body. So I want to get him on the line, and Michael wants to tell you his story. And this is a journey. He's got a long journey, a long history dealing with cancer, but particularly we're going to talk about his last month. This is when I met him. Actually, I've only met him on the phone. So Michael and I have a phone relationship almost entirely. And but I met him through another Christian friend, a mutual friend of ours, after Michael had prayer for his condition. So anyway, let's put Michael on. Mike?
Hello.
Are you there?
I am here.
Okay, you're in Massachusetts, right?
Yes.
How's the weather out there?
Cold.
Cold. Okay. Well, good. So you're not making us feel jealous.
No.
That's good. Yeah, it's a little chilly here too. Anyway, Michael, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'll be brief. I'll begin. What happened a couple of months ago with the cancer and everything.
Well, how about your history as a pastor? How long were you a pastor there in Oklahoma?
About 4.5 years.
Okay. And when did you receive the Lord?
July of 1981.
Okay, 1981. And you told me earlier that you could be characterized as the John Belushi of the Animal House. Is that correct?
Before I got saved, I was just like him.
Oh, you were just like him. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's a pretty good description. That sums up a lot, doesn't it? Anyway, so what happened within this last few years of your life, or we can talk about the last few months of your life?
Yeah. Back on February 27th, I was told that the tumor on the top of my head that I had since 2001 had grown, and it was spreading all over my neck and face, and it was malignant skin cancer.
Okay.
And then on March 18th, after I had a CAT scan and an MRI, I was told that I had a tumor under my left eye that was the size of a peach, and I had a tumor next to my left eye that was the size of a walnut. I have had tumors in my body my whole entire life. From the time I was 8 years old to the time I was like in my 20s, early 20s, I had tumors removed from my body on a regular basis. I had over 40 removed from my face and roughly about a dozen from the rest of my body.
Wow.
when I went to the doctors, on March 18th, they told me that I had been born with a rare disease that caused my body to produce tumors. And, after all the tumors I had earlier, the only ones that were bad were the most recent ones, like the one on my head and under my eye and everything. The doctor says now according to him, I have a very rare disease that not only produces tumors in my body, but the tumors are cancerous. So the MRI also revealed that I had many tumors all over my brain, inside my neck, outside my neck, in my face. So the specialist told me at the end of the appointment that if I didn't have surgery right away, I might not be here by the summer. But they can't do any surgery until my blood pressure goes down, and it was way too high. And their only solution to that problem was give me 3 prescriptions a day to lower the blood pressure.
Okay. So basically you've been waiting. You've been waiting and to get surgery. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what happened about a month ago?
Well, on March 20th, I was totally devastated. I didn't know what to do. My doctor tried to convince me to go for chemo and radiation, and because it looked like that the cancer was spreading all over my head and face and neck. And the tests I took showed that I was full of cancer above the neck, but nothing was taken as far as tests are concerned or whatever below the neck. I was very full of fear and anxiety, and because I had known at least 100 people that were very healthy. They took care of themselves, they did everything they were supposed to do, and after they found out they had cancer, they were given chemo, and within 6 months after the chemo or radiation, they died, and it was the chemo and radiation that killed them. So I was not going to have chemo or radiation. I had spent the last 7 years taking care of my father and mother 24/7, and I was at least 150 pounds overweight. I had never exercised or ate good. I ate a lot of pasta and junk food, and my body was totally burnt out, and there was just no way I was going to do chemo and radiation. But I prayed, I realized, Jesus has redeemed me from the curse, and that includes cancer, tumors, and rare diseases. And I prayed God would make a way. And my church and my friends were praying for me a lot, and that's when I got connected to you. And you told me how, eating sugar made cancer grow, made tumors grow, made it spread, how, making your body as alkaline, stopped the cancer from growing, stopped it from spreading. You told me about your formula, and I just cried that night because it was like God had answered my prayers. There was my solution to my problem.
Wow, praise God.
So
what is it that you did this last month? And then tell us what happened when you went to the doctor just last Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Thursday.
Okay. Well, I gotta back up a few. On April 2nd, I went to an eye specialist, and the eye specialist told me that I was developing a hole in my retina. It was almost totally penetrated, and that I had a tumor on my eye, and that I had cancer cells all over my eyelids, and that he would have to do special surgery to take care of that. And then on April 12th, I started taking your gold formula, along with the potassium and the cesium.
And you decided to do a fast too, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was Michael's. That was your idea, right?
Yes.
Just fast with the formula.
Yeah. I took the formula 3 times a day, along with the potassium and the cesium, and I tested my pH 3 times a day, and I noticed a change immediately. And I could tell, after we had talked, I could tell that my body was literally eliminating the cancer. I ended up getting symptoms like a bad cold, so that told me, my body was heading in the right direction, so to speak. When I first started, before I started taking the formula and everything, my pH was like 3.5, and
Wow.
then within a week.
For those of you who don't know, folks, that's very, very low. 3.5 on the pH scale is very acidic.
And within a week, it went up to 6.5.
Wow.
And then about a week later, my brother came over. He hadn't seen me in about 3 weeks. And usually when he does see me, he always comments on how bad the tumor on the top of my head looks and how, why aren't I doing something to take care of it? But that day, he chased me around the house, and he's looking at my head. I said, what's the matter? What's the matter? He goes, wow, that actually looks like it's getting better. And that was only a week after starting taking the formula. I was like, wow, thank you, Jesus. So on May 1st, I went to my regular doctor, and he had weighed me, and he took my blood pressure. And I found out that since March 27th, when I stopped eating sugar, and exercising, and then I started taking your formula, I've lost a total of 26 pounds already, and my blood pressure went from 180 over 20 to 163 over 103.
Wow.
And like you said, on Friday, I saw the eye surgeon, and he was basically getting together with me to talk about the surgery coming up. And he took some tests, and he looked at the tumor and everything. He said that the hole in my retina was like 70% better than it was when he saw me the first time 4 weeks ago.
Wow.
And that the cancer cells on my eyelids were almost gone, and that the tumor on the eye was almost gone.
And so then you questioned him, right, about the surgery?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah. He said, as far as he's concerned, he only was dealing with the eye. He says, I don't need the surgery.
Wow. What a miracle. What a miracle. So that is one of the miracles of the human body. I believe that God gave the body divine intelligence. Let's face it. He gave the body the intelligence to build us from scratch, right? The only two humans that he built personally, I think, were Adam and Eve. Then after that, he turned the job over to our cells. And it all starts from a sperm and an egg, and they build the whole body. Well, I firmly believe that intelligence is still within us. And if we give it the right things, the body can begin to heal itself. But a lot of our problems come from a lack of the right things and a lack of nutrition. And the empty harvest, that we're eating nothing like God intended for us to originally have. So one of the things that I'd like to point out is that you were taking cesium and potassium. And cesium is one of these trace minerals that is found amongst these long living peoples. They trace, and there's no cancer up there in these mountains, whether it's the Titicacas in Peru or whether it's the Caucasus Mountains in Russia or the Hunzas in East Pakistan. People don't deal with cancer. But they do find that there's high levels of trace minerals in their water and in their food, but especially cesium. And that's what you're taking, right?
Yep.
And that's even proven by the pharmaceutical industry. Cesium cancer has an affinity for cesium, and it alkalizes the inside of tumors and destroys them. Anyway, it's a miracle, Michael. And I am so thrilled for you, and I just want to compliment you on your self-determination and your self-denial, frankly, and your change of lifestyle. And so I think we're in partnership with God when it comes to health, and we have to do our part.
Amen.
And you certainly have done your part, and I want to give you high compliments for that. And your change of lifestyle. So God bless you.
Thank you.
I heard you might have a song for us.
Yeah, I did. Before I started singing, I just wanted to say I am scheduled for surgery in June to have the large tumors under my eye, next to my eye removed. But the way it's been looking, I don't think I'm going to need the surgery. So,
wow, praise God. I mean, that's just beautiful.
Because, Jesus is my healer, and he does say that in the Word over
Amen.
and over again. All right, well, the song I'm going to sing, it's a quick song, it's a worship song, and I hope it sounds okay. I've never sung through a phone before. Hold on one moment.
Well, if it's anything like you did for us the first time I met you, it's going to be great.
Okay. I am the God that healeth thee. I am the Lord your healer. I sent my word and healed your disease. I am the Lord your healer. You are the God that healeth me. You are the Lord, my healer. You sent your word and healed my disease. You are the Lord, my healer.
Thank you, Michael. That was beautiful. God bless you.
Thank
Do
you.
you mind if we call you again to keep up with your progress?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay. So we'll call you again, and we'll put you on the show, and you can tell us more of what the Lord has done in your life.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
God
you.
bless.
God bless you. Bye.
The most effective, natural, powerful, comprehensive, bioavailable, and economical supplement in the world. Green Gold Nutrition Formula was formulated by the 30 years of traveling to the world to places like the Amazon rainforest of Brazil, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Spain, Peru, Portugal, and Italy. One man on a 30-year missions trip helping people get healthy across the world consequently developed Green Gold Nutrition Formula from his travels.
What I observed in my travels is that the food supply of the planet is nutritionally depleted. Something had to be done to give the world a comprehensive and powerful supplement to replace those nutrients.
Green Gold Nutrition Formula contains over 200 ingredients which supply every cell of the brain and body the food and fuel they need to obtain optimum performance. Our mission is to have you living the way the Lord intended you to live, 120 years healthy. Get started today by going to greengoldnutrition.com. That's greengoldnutrition.com.
Folks, wasn't that a beautiful story from Michael? What a beautiful, sincere Christian. And I believe that, I don't believe the Lord gives us disease. He was healed he was beaten. By his stripes we're healed, in Isaiah 53. He came to give us healing. What did Jesus do when he was here? He healed people over and over and over again. So I really believe that our God is the God of health and healing, and he's always been concerned about our health as Christians. Even in the Old Testament, God's health laws that we now know were very, very scientifically advanced. When he told people not to eat pork, it wasn't for religious purposes, not because he wanted us to worship pigs, but he knew back then there was such a thing as trichinosis, which science later confirmed, and other things also that he advised his people not to eat back then. So God's the great scientist, God's the great manufacturer of our body, and he's always been concerned about health. And just look at the perfection of our food supply. But like I said earlier in the program, it's been hijacked, and we have to take control of our bodies and our families, frankly, what our children are eating and what our grandchildren are eating, and we need to return to God's plan for man. And I tried to do my part by creating the Green Gold Nutrition Formula, which has over 200 nutrients, and If any of you are familiar with ORAC value, which is the way many of these products are rated today, it has an ORAC value of over 48,000 per scoop. Per scoop, not per container, but per scoop. One of the highest ORAC values I've ever seen was 12,000. I just talked to two men who are helping to manufacture our formula who have been in the business for 40 years. Both of them say the highest they've ever seen is 30,000. Well, this has 48,000 for ORAC value. Well, what that means, folks, is that's 48,000 antioxidants, okay, to fight disease. So it's one of the most powerful antioxidant formulas in the world. It's hard to compare it to anything. One serving, 27 grams, one little scoop of this stuff gives you the equivalent of 97 cups of raw spinach in ORAC value, or 120 cups of cooked carrots, or 26 cups of orange juice. That's just to give you a little idea of what it means to have an ORAC value of 48,000 in one little powdered scoop. Anyway, one of the most powerful formulas in the world, and that's scientifically proven. That's not just my opinion. And I developed this product through prayer. There was a lot of obstacles that I had to overcome to create this formula. I was told over and over by experts in the industry that it couldn't be done. One person, I won't mention his name, who he is, he said, Dan, you're trying to put 50,000 pounds of potatoes in a 5,000-pound sack. You can't do it. Well, I got down on my face. I got down on my hands and knees and prayed for God's wisdom. He said, if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not. And he's never failed me. And he gave me the wisdom and led me to the right people that could help me to put this together. Well, it's a reality today. If you take one scoop of ORAC Gold, it's not ORAC Gold, it's Green Gold Nutrition Formula. We could call it ORAC Gold too, because again, it's one of the most powerful antioxidants that exists on the face of the planet. So, folks, I did it for that reason. I wanted to see people healthy. One of my main concerns is Christians. I see too many Christians getting sick. I see too many Christians, frankly, dying of cancer and other debilitating diseases. And we just heard Michael's testimony. There was an alternative for him, and he took it. And God bless him. And a large part is what he did as well. It's not just all the Lord. Well, if the Lord wants to heal me, I'm going to get healed. If the Lord wants to take me, he's going to take me. Well, I believe we're partners with God, and I believe we have a lot more of a role to play in our own healing and in our own well-being than that. So I don't believe we should have a passive attitude, and I don't think God expects us to have a passive attitude. Michael prayed, and one of the friends that introduced me to him, he's a faith healer, and he prayed over Michael, but he also said that he felt Michael needed to do something about his own health. So anyway, that's what I believe, and Michael is a great testament to that. So anyway, folks, we're going to open up the lines for you to call in. The call-in number is 313-838-1035. That's 313-838-1035. Please call in with your questions or comments, and we'd love to hear from you.
The most effective, natural, powerful, comprehensive, bioavailable, and economical supplement in the world. Green Gold Nutrition Formula was formulated by the 30 years of traveling to the world to places like the Amazon rainforest of Brazil, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Spain, Peru, Portugal, and Italy. One man on a 30-year missions trip helping people get healthy across the world consequently developed Green Gold Nutrition Formula from his travels.
What I observed in my travels is that the food supply of the planet is nutritionally depleted. Something had to be done to give the world a comprehensive and powerful supplement to replace those nutrients.
Green Gold Nutrition Formula contains over 200 ingredients which supply every cell of the brain and body the food and fuel they need to obtain optimum performance. Our mission is to have you living the way the Lord intended you to live, 120 years healthy. Get started today by going to greengoldnutrition.com. That's greengoldnutrition.com.
Hi, folks. We're back. The lines are lighting up here. I have my faithful producer here, Anthony, who is taking the phone calls. And Anthony, do we have anybody here on the line? All right. So we'd like to hear your stories also of healing and how God has touched you and how He's worked in your life, whether it's through green gold or frankly anything else, or just plain prayer. Because I believe also, as we all do as Christians, that God can heal. God is not limited. God is not limited by anything in order for us to be able to heal us. We have Anthony from Ann Arbor. Anthony, are you on the line?
Yes.
Yes. Anthony, go ahead.
Yes.
Please.
Okay, what's the difference between essential oils and what you have right now?
Well, the approach that I've taken with the Green Gold Nutrition formula is comprehensive. I don't rely on any one single nutrient to do the job. It has over 200 nutrients, and all of the nutrients work in synergy with each other. There's a lot of things on the market today which we'll call magic bullets, for lack of a better term, and you're supposed to take this for that, and this for that, and this for that. I don't believe in that approach to health. I believe that you have to have a comprehensive approach. So in this formula, we have all the vitamins from organic sources that are known to man, all the minerals, all the trace minerals, omega-3 fatty acids with sunflower lecithin and DHA, amino acids. We have over 30 servings of fruits and vegetables, including acai, mangosteen, noni, goji, all the superfruits. We have super vegetables, the spinach, the kale, the broccoli, all of those things. We have green grasses in the formula. And then we have adaptogenic herbs. We have over 18 adaptogenic herbs, meaning the kind of herbs that will adapt to whatever's needed in the body. And then we have protein, then we have maca. Maca is a root vegetable from the Peruvian mountains, and it's known to help with hormone production. So I put this together synergistically, so everything works together. And if anyone who knows or studies nutrition knows that every nutrient is dependent upon another. For example, protein. Protein in the body and amino acids are all carried by the B vitamins. And the central component of B12 is the mineral cobalt. I could go on and on and on about all the synergy between everything. So that's how this was created. Essential oils are good. I think they're excellent. But anything taken by itself, essential oils taken with this formula, will only enhance the power and the effectiveness of the oils.
Okay.
So I don't know if that answers your question.
You did.
What's that?
You did. So I think I'm all set. I'm just kind of working on my health a little bit more now.
Okay.
So trying to stay focused on that.
Sure.
We all want to live a long life. So.
Amen. It's God's will for us to live a long life. We're going to be in heaven forever, right? So we need to live as long as we can here.
There you go. Well, I appreciate your advice anyway. And,
thank you, Anthony.
I'm going to call back after this is over and try your product. Is there a trial that you can try?
Sure. Just call. Just call in, and the number to call also at Green Gold Nutrition is 800-452-9232.
Okay.
And if you If you want to email me, Dan at greengoldnutrition.com. Anyone who emails me and comments on the program, I'll send a free copy of my book, Health 101 for Doctors and Dummies.
Green Gold at
Dan at greengoldnutrition.com. Dan at greengoldnutrition.com. And email me with any questions that you have or anything else. I'm here to help. That's my mission in life, is to help others get healthy. Okay, we have Sarah in Macomb.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
Oh, I'm very good. Thank you.
I have a question to ask you. I have a teenager and I have a tweenager, and they're kind of they eat fast food. They go. They don't want to exercise. They don't want to eat healthy. So I was wondering, is your formula okay for my children to take? Is it just catered to adults? I mean, who can take this?
No, this is essential nutrition for every human being on the planet. And I would say for every embryo on the planet. There's no limitation to who can take this. Now, I have a new formulation that's come out. It's cherry pineapple. The last one, some people said, tastes like swamp water. Well, some people don't mind drinking swamp water if it's going to make them healthy. I happen to be one of those, and I know there's a lot of other people out there. But I don't think it was very appetizing towards children, to children either. But I have a new formula coming out. It's called, and you can order it now. It's arriving. It's called cherry. The same formula, Green Gold Nutrition, but with cherry, pineapple, and coconut sugar, and it's absolutely safe for children. I would adjust their dosages accordingly, because there might be a little bit of loose bowels or something like that. But you can adjust the dosage into how your kids assimilate it. But if your kids are teenagers, I would say that they can easily take an adult dose without any problem. And for littler children, start with a half a dose or start with a half a scoop. It'd probably be just excellent. Actually, my granddaughter loves the stuff. She's 6 years old. She said, we asked her why she likes it. She goes, wow, it gives me energy in the morning and it keeps me awake all day. So I've had very, very good results and responses from kids.
Thank you so much. I will. Now, where do I go?
GreenGoldNutrition.com. You can order it online, or if you're computer handicapped, you can call 800-452-9232.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
And now I think we have Marv in West Bloomfield. Marv?
Yeah. Well, hi, Dan.
Is that my old buddy, Marv?
Hey, I love you, brother. You are incredible. I want to say I'm blessed to be listening to your show, and for everybody to now be able to hear you on the radio, because your knowledge and love of the Lord and giving to the Lord and bringing this formula is meant a huge amount to me.
Well, thank you.
If I could just share something, and that is that I guess to my embarrassment, for years Dan's been involved in health and nutrition, and he shared it with me. He's been like my best friend for a long time, and I was resistant to the formula, and I always pick and chose my, this little vitamin or that little vitamin, and also never took seriously my pH balance. And I've had various candida fungal infections for the last 17 years. And
Marv, let me just, can I interrupt you just for 1 second, folks?
Yeah.
I don't know that we're going to be able to go into length on pH balance, but we will on subsequent shows. We will get into how to balance your pH and how to balance the water in your body, just like a swimming pool or an aquarium. So that's what Marvin's referring to right now. We will get into that in future shows, as well as hormone balance, especially for women. there are some simple solutions here for hormone balance and for pH balance, which I will impart, if not today, in subsequent shows. Anyway, Marv, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, so now that I finally got the pH strips, I've been balancing, and I talked to Dan quite a bit about, God, why do I need so much bicarbonate of soda to balance my pH? It's like 7.25, 7.5, and it's made a huge difference. And I was resistant to the formula. Now, the stuff that Dan said that it was sort of like swamp water, and I added all sorts of things to it to try to drink it, and that sort of it didn't do so well. And then I was over to him and his wife for Christmas this past Christmas Eve, and I just want to share with people. My two dogs were with them, and my one dog has they're both very healthy. They're like 12 years old, but so we put out the formula that I always had a hard time eating, and my one dog, who's very picky, they eat raw, but they're very picky, just gobbled the stuff up, okay? Put it, mixed it with a little water, and she just ate it real quick, and my other dog did, and so, he had a hard time convincing me to just drink it like it is, but after I saw my dogs do it, I said, okay, and so I've been just taking it as is. I don't put anything. I just mix it with a little bit of kefir and a little coconut milk and put a touch of honey in it, and I drink it every day. And it was interesting. I was at my rabbi's yesterday. In fact, he's a guest on another show many times on this radio station.
Well, I just want to clarify, Marv is a Messianic Jew, and he's talking about Pastor Glenn on Bob Duco, on the Bob Duco show.
Thank you. And it was interesting. I was at the rabbi's yesterday and doing work on his home, and we ended up having dinner last night. And before that, his wife said, "How come you?" She said, "You haven't eaten all day." And I said, "No, I'm hungry now because it was like 6 o'clock." But I had the formula first thing in the morning, and actually I have some, and I also, just so for people, probably a lot of people are dog lovers too, I also my dogs also have it every morning as well. And I've noticed in my one dog that's had a number of tumors, so this goes back to the previous, person that you interviewed, is that I'm noticing these tumors. She's almost 12 years old, and she's had these tumors since she was almost 2, all benign. I'm seeing them getting softer and getting dissolving. Plus, my candida is better. My skin condition's better than it's been. I'm embarrassed to say, but in 15 years.
Okay.
And
Marv was a hard convert, both in receiving Jesus, which he received about 4 years ago, and also with the health formula. But now he's a total believer, both in the Lord and in the health formula. Marv, thanks for sharing that with us. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you real soon.
All right, take care, and thank you so much.
God bless you. Thanks for calling in.
The most effective, natural, powerful, comprehensive, bioavailable, and economical supplement in the world, Green Gold Nutrition Formula, was formulated by the 30 years of traveling to the world to places like the Amazon rainforest of Brazil, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Spain, Peru, Portugal, and Italy. One man on a 30-year missions trip helping people get healthy across the world consequently developed Green Gold Nutrition Formula from his travels.
What I observed in my travels is that the food supply of the planet is nutritionally depleted. Something had to be done to give the world a comprehensive and powerful supplement to replace those nutrients.
Green Gold Nutrition Formula contains over 200 ingredients which supply every cell of the brain and body the food and fuel they need to obtain optimum performance. Our mission is to have you living the way the Lord intended you to live, 120 years healthy. Get started today by going to greengoldnutrition.com. That's greengoldnutrition.com.
Well, folks, we're back. Thank you all for calling in and sharing what you did. We really appreciate hearing from you. If anyone wants to contact me personally, whether about a health issue or questions about the formula or any of the above, you can email me at dan@greengoldnutrition.com. And because the Green Gold Company sponsors me, I'm able to give my consulting services to you free of charge. That's my goal. When I went to the Amazon, I sure didn't charge the Indians for my consultations. And I don't intend to charge anyone for my consultations. And thanks to the generosity of Green Gold Nutrition, the company, and their sponsorship, I am able to help others free of charge. Now, that might sound unusual in this day and age, but I really believe that God's given me some knowledge, and I certainly didn't, I don't want to make money on it necessarily. All I want to do is help people to be healthy. So freely you have received, so freely give. And that's my philosophy, and that's my firm belief, and that's what guides my involvement in health and nutrition. I am going to be doing a seminar at Quality Care Rehabilitation Professionals. They're located on Hayes Road in Clinton Township. They're just south of, I get my north, south, east, and west mixed up, but I believe they're just south of 19 Mile Road. It's 42536 Hayes Road, Suite 100 in Clinton Township, and that'll be at 7 p.m. on May 6th. So you're welcome. You can bring kids if you want. We'll have a place for your children to play, and the seminar is free of charge. And again, this is sponsored by the company Green Gold Nutrition. So please come out. I can take some time with you there and talk about any of your personal issues that you want. Or again, you can email me at dan@greengoldnutrition.com. It's been a pleasure being with you all today. I have more to my health program than just this formulation. We will be talking about pH balance. We will be talking about hormone balance. And we will be talking about the importance of iodine. You know, we live in the goiter belt. That's what it was called back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s because there's such a lack of iodine in the soils of Michigan and everything, and not just Michigan, but the whole Great Lakes area. And that's leading to a lot of problems. That's what led to good old-fashioned Morton's iodized salt, because there were so many goiters here in Michigan and the Great Lakes region that the government asked the salt companies if they would put iodine in the salt to help alleviate the goiter problem. And it did. There was just enough there to alleviate that. But now we've thrown out the baby with the bathwater because the bathwater was refined salt. And not a lot of people are taking that, but they threw out the baby too, which is iodine. And unless you're eating a lot of seaweed, like the Japanese, you're getting very, very, if no, iodine. And iodine is absolutely essential to your health, and especially to women's health. It's an estrogen uptake inhibitor. And women in Japan don't have much breast cancer because of that. Because they get 100 times more iodine than anyone here because they eat seaweed. Anyway, folks, come back 3 o'clock next week from 3 to 4, and we hope to have another interesting show for you.
Thank you for listening to The Empty Harvest with Dan Sienkiewicz. Start your healthy living now by going to greengoldnutrition.com. That's greengoldnutrition.com. See you next week on The Empty Harvest.
WMUZ takes this time to honor God and 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 time to honor